Good evening, you're watching Estuary TV News. Coming up, we find out what's in store for Hull in 2017 and we go behind the scenes with the chameleon players in Hull. And joining me in the studio is the internationally acclaimed singer Michael Dorr. Welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. First of all, it's over to Richard Morris for the news roundup.
Hello there. An assault has taken place in the alleyway off Chantry Lane in Grimsby. A 22-year-old suffered a fractured eye socket after being attacked by a group of 4 men. One had a distinctive tribal tattoo on the left side of his neck and another a knee-length dark coat with a fur-lined collar. He was left with a fracture to his eye socket and right wrist alongside facial bruising. Anyone with information is asked to contact Humberside Police. The MP for Cleethorpes and Immingham has given 10 out of 10 to the children at Allerton Primary School. Martin Vickers was talking after being invited to the school in the town to have a tour and answer questions from the school's council. He fielded questions on a variety of topics from the town's leisure facilities, Tesco and meeting the Queen.
It's fantastic to have, as you say, to have them interested, and it's great to be invited into schools to be able to, as I say, to be something of an ambassador, because in a few years' time they're all going to have to vote, and unfortunately there are lots of young people who don't become engaged with politics and vote, and in years to come maybe they'll stand for the Youth Parliament. The Youth Parliament met at Westminster only last week, actually in the chamber of the House of Commons, and it's a way of encouraging young people to become involved and realise that they can actually have an impact on how their local community is run.
You may start having your photo taken when going into hospital in Scunthorpe or Grimsby. It is part of efforts to avoid misidentification incidents in Northern Lincolnshire and Goole NHS Foundation Trust hospitals. The award-winning virtual ward system will allow the patients' faces to appear on screen prior to the doctor administering treatment or doing checkups. It also alerts staff to when observations are due and provides details of test results.
We're always looking at different ways of trying to identify the patient positively. There's always a chance you'll come across a number of John Smiths. So therefore the patient photograph was a simple step forward. We have devices on the wards which are called Panasonic Toughbooks, which have an inbuilt camera. So we thought, well, we've got this functionality on the wards at the moment, so why not we build into our system the ability to record a patient's photograph on their record.
That's all from me. Bye for now.
Thank you, Richard. Last week was the anniversary of Hull winning its bid to be the second city in the UK to become City of Culture, inspired by Liverpool's year as European Capital of Culture in 2008. A year from winning the bid, we examine what it will bring to Hull. Dave Nunn went to meet the team behind the bid.
2017 is set to be Hull's year in the limelight as it celebrates being UK's City of Culture. It's been a long process to the announcement of Hull winning its bid a year ago, and it's one people won't be forgetting soon.
I was actually in my kitchen in London, and my really good friend from Hull phoned me in tears to tell me that Hull had won City of Culture designation, so that's when I really first became aware of what was going on.
The years ahead will be long ones, with 25 festivals and 15 national and international commissions to plan. A lot needs to be done to bring Hull 2017 to reality.
I've been here for about 6 weeks now. The hard work has begun. We're putting a team in. We're moving into our new offices. We're starting to engage with the cultural community that you can see behind me at the moment.
It's not just the City of Culture team that have been involved. Hull City Council has thrown an estimated £22 million at the City of Culture project so far.
Well, there's always a risk when you put in for any bidding process. But it was clearly worth it in this case because we could end up with an investment of 200 million. So if you spend a couple of million and get 200 million pounds out of it, you've done very well. So it was clearly worthwhile, but we'd have done it win or lose because the process was very beneficial to the city as well in terms of raising the profile of the city. So it's money well spent. With
the money set to come into the city and the creation of up to 1,500 new jobs, the council is relishing the opportunities City of Culture will bring.
Well, it helps us fast track what we're trying to achieve, which is fill some of the gaps in the economy, improve our nighttime economy, create more bed spaces, get more people into the city spending money who wouldn't otherwise come. and try and establish us as a better tourist destination so people come and spend money and create employment and create service sector jobs. That's part of the objective.
2017 looks to be a record year for Hull. With large sums of investment in the cultural impacts, City of Culture will have an effect on the city for many years to come.
You're watching Estuary TV News. Coming up, it's our first birthday today, so Erica Barker has been behind the scenes. And Dan Kemp will bring you the sports news. Grimsby seems to have been the birthplace of many acclaimed musicians. One of them is Michael Daw, a singer who's been likened to Tony Bennett and Matt Monro. He's performed with the likes of Sarah Brightman and Lorna Luft and regularly comes home to perform at the Central Hall. Earlier, Michael came into the studio to talk about his career. Michael, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Lovely to be here.
Just to try to introduce you first a little bit. You're a Grimbarian by origin. But you've gone on to be an international superstar singer.
Megastar.
Megastar
yeah. I was born in Grimsby. I was born in Cleethorpes, actually, at the Croft Baker Nursing Home, which now is flats, I think. And I lived here until I was 18. And then when I was 18, I moved to the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London. And I've stayed there since then, and most of my work is there.
But you've gone on to a career separate from that, and you've sung with some very important orchestras and some very big names. I mean, you really have. I mean, a lot of us have heard your voice, probably without knowing it, on various films for a start.
That's
the
true.
Film career.
Yeah, a lot of the time, people will not know I'm there, and that's one of the things I do. I do a lot of studio recording work, which means that I could be doing backing for various people. I did Susan Boyle's Last Christmas album, things like that, where people wouldn't know. They'll know that there's a voice in the background, or the films, they can be, sometimes it's just me on my own, sometimes there are 2 or 3 of us, and sometimes it can be a huge team, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, films like that.
Harry Potter as well?
Harry Potter, I've just done the new Hobbit film, the last Hobbit film, all sorts of films. Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm trying to think what else there is. Book of Life. I mean, it's fun, but people are often very excited about it. But I go in the studio and I'm given the music. I sight read, so I very often sing through it once, then record it. And that's it, and then it goes off into the ether.
Money for old rope.
It is money for old rope at times. I can tell you, yeah, it is. It's good fun as well.
And you've worked as well. You've worked with some big names. I mean, you've worked with Simon Rattle, for instance. And
I've worked with Simon a few times.
And the BBC Symphony Orchestra, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. These are just casual workmates for you, I think.
Well, to a certain extent, yes. I mean, I've worked with the BBC Concert Orchestra doing programs like Friday Night is Music Night since the 80s, when I was
tiny.
So I've done that. I've done that program ever since then, reasonably regularly, and I work a lot with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. I've got concerts coming up in December, Christmas concerts that I do every year with them at Cadogan Hall. I'm with them in March at the Albert Hall for the Best of Broadway, which is another thing that I do every year. Which is great because you go and it's the Albert Hall and I get to do some big solos, and there are 4 of us do the concert with the orchestra, and we do duets and quartets. And
you must move on to what you were doing last weekend. You were supporting the baby unit at
the Grimsby Baby Care. Yes. Well, this all started. I mean, I've been sort of in touch with the Grimsby Baby Care for quite a long time. I went to do a telethon in America, and I was taken around the Mercy Hospital in Iowa to the baby unit there, and saw all these premature babies, tiny, like a pound and a half when they were born.
Very vulnerable, aren't they? Yeah.
Very vulnerable, and they were raising money for that hospital was one of the hospitals that they were raising the money for with the telethon, and I thought, why am I in the middle of America doing this? I want to do this for my hometown and people that are connected with me. And so I got in touch, my agent got in touch with Grimsby Baby Care, and the dinner at the Oaklands Hotel was to raise money for that. And also the concert that I'm doing in December at the Central Hall.
Yes, this is
That
the
was gonna
13th of December.
13th of December.
Singing at Grimsby Central Hall.
With the Grimsby Philharmonic. Yeah, and the idea is that we are raising money on that evening as well for Grimsby Baby Care.
And Central Hall itself is in some danger. That's vulnerable as well, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it is. Yes, I've sung there for getting on for 20 years now, and as a child, I used to perform with the youth orchestra there. So it's a place that's very dear to my heart. And basically, they just need people to support it. You know, it needs to be used more. And if there's anybody out there, a lottery winner maybe, it would be great, you know, if somebody could come along and just, you know, support it.
Important part of the community, isn't it? I mean, what would we be losing if we lost the Central Hall?
It's a great concert hall. It has amazing acoustics. You know, I've performed in concert halls all over the world, sometimes with far inferior acoustics to the Central Hall. It's a great space. You can see everybody in the audience from the stage, and everybody in the audience can see you. The sound is amazing. It's a good size. And of course, there are all the other rooms as well that are used for societies to rehearse in. And, you know, it would be a big loss. It would be a big loss and tragic, really.
How much do they need to raise? Do you know what the numbers are?
I don't know what the actual figures are, but they are trying to. I think the idea is that they're looking for sponsors who may come in with just small amounts, but a lot of people who would do that, maybe on a monthly basis, so that there is money being generated into the hall.
And it's a Christmassy concert. You'll be singing carols.
All sorts of things, yes, lots of my own stuff
Michael,
that I've recorded.
Thank you very much. 13th of December, Central Hall, Grimsby, which I've just heard has better acoustics than the Royal Albert Hall. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The Chameleon Players in Hull will be putting on another production this week. The Month of Sundays was written by the late playwright Bob Larby. The director Neil Coleman brings us this behind-the-scenes report.
Hi. We're here this morning with the Chameleon Players at the Lonsdale Community Centre in Hull. We've got to be quiet because they're busy rehearsing their latest play. It's called A Month of Sundays, written by Bob Larby.
Bob Larby is probably one of my most favourite writers. It's basically about two old guys in a nursing home who witter away each day trying to keep their minds active. It's probably one of the best plays Bob Larby has actually written. But unfortunately, he died this year, so I'd like to dedicate this play to him and his memory.
We formed an escape committee in the summer, ale at 9. It entailed causing a huge explosion of porridge in the kitchen, and ale at 9 making our way to Switzerland disguised as nuns.
My name's Stan Airwood. I'm playing a character called Cooper, who's about 84, 85. He's been in a nursing home most of his pension life. He sold his house and his savings to put himself in here. The story's basically about myself and a guy called Aylett, who's my best friend. I'm going forward towards incontinence and he's going through to senility. And it's about the journey we take from the beginning of our friendship to basically the end where Aylett loses his marbles and I become incontinent.
Hi, my name's Shane and I'm playing the part of a chap called Aylett who slowly but surely loses his marbles, so to speak. The poor chap gets dementia and by the end of the play he's totally gone. Whereas Cooper is trying to keep Aylett as sane as possible for him as well as Aylett, because he's going to lose a very good friend if Aylett goes.
Okay, I'm Taryn Puckering. I play Nurse Wilson. She's the one that keeps all, them all into gear and makes sure that they're not getting into trouble and things like that. I think the relationship between Nurse Wilson and Cooper is really important because it shows it shows the diversity of what we have now with older people and younger people. And I think what they have is quite nice. It's quite touching.
I'm Paula.
I am Kevin.
And we play Julia, Cooper's daughter and son-in-law.
I'm Peter.
We visit the first Sunday in every month, which is why it's called A Month of Sundays.
Not that we want to be there, but we feel we have to. But it's a very enjoyable play. We're having lots of fun doing it.
It's very funny in parts. It's also very emotional in parts as well. Very poignant for people with memory loss and older people.
Right, well, I'm going to let these get on with it then. Don't forget, if you want to see them, it's at the Northern Academy of Performing Arts in Hull. Their phone number is 01482 310 690 if you want to book a ticket. And in the meantime, I'll leave them to it.
And the play starts on the 28th and runs till the 29th and is at the Northern Academy of Performing Arts in Hull. The Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire dialects are full of interesting words and phrases. In our new feature, What You Say, we sent Dan Kemp out on the streets of Hull and Grimsby to find out if you know the meanings of some of those words.
No, I haven't heard that one.
Canal, I'm not quite sure whether Beck is a river or is it a canal, because there's Beverley Beck and that, I'm not sure whether that is a canal or a river.
Well, locally we have it's called Beverley Beck, and it's just a little drainage area, open drain really.
Down by the Beck, probably down by the river, going for a walk down the drain or something like that, yeah.
I would have thought going to a stream.
Well, here we don't really have a stream, so you'd be talking the drain, the little rivers, stuff like that, down the River Hull.
Down by the Beck. I'm not sure about that, I'm not sure what that is.
Beverley Beck, down there, I mean, it's not exactly a river, it's just a little bit of the river that's sort of like off-streamed.
Down to the river, down to the stream. Down to the stream, probably.
We call it rivers here.
Down by the Beck. Ooh, that sounds like down by the river.
I live in Beverley, so if you go down Beck, you go for a walk down the side of Beck with your dog. Down by the river, I would think.
Down by the Beck, is that down by the riverside?
The Beck, we've got a Beck at Stalinborough.
As in the Burnley Beck, innit?
Yeah.
It's down by the Beck means it's down by the stream.
It's Estuary TV's birthday today. A year ago today, we were the first channel to launch on local TV. Reporter Erica Barker has been out to find out what happened over the last year.
Grimsby's Estuary TV kicked off the local television revolution, being the first to air on a prominent Freeview slot after the government got behind programming for local people created by those living in the community.
The fantastic thing about local television is that it opens up a raft of new opportunities for new talent.
When you're talking about 12 million homes launching with new local TV stations up and down the country, the scale of this is very different to anything that's happened before.
It was a talk of not only the town but the country as the media descended. Broadcasting to around 350,000 homes across East Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire. A year on from its launch, news editor Emma Lingard says it's certainly been a journey.
Local TV has been slated, I think. There are a lot of people who don't think that people want it, but we know from audience feedback that they like what we do. They want to hear what's happening in their community. They like to see the people and the places. And they get a real sense that, you know, it's their channel, and we want them to feel part of that Estuary family. It is through the sheer hard work and effort of the staff at Estuary that we are still here a year on. Let's hope we can continue to grow, and that the people in the community and, you know, the local businesses continue to support us.
And from humble beginnings to birthday celebrations, it looks like Estuary TV is going from strength to strength.
Now here's the sport with Dan Kemp.
Grimsby Town have narrowed the gap to leaders Barnet down to 6 points. The Mariners beat fellow promotion hopefuls Woking by 3-1 at Blundell Park last night. A Linnell John Lewis brace, which followed a Craig Disley opener, gave Town the 3 points in the second versus third clash. They are now 6 points behind the league leaders. Hull City right fullback Brian Lenihan has had his loan spell at Blackpool cut short. The player, signed from Cork City in the summer, played just 2 games for the Championship outfit after damaging his patella tendon and is expected to be sidelined for 6 weeks. He was due to remain with the Tangerines until the middle of next month. In better news for the Tigers, midfielder Mohamed Diarmi will be assessed ahead of the weekend's fixture with Manchester United after missing the Spurs defeat with a knee injury. And one final piece of City news is that Northern Premier League Division 1 North club Scarborough Athletic have signed keeper Joe Cracknell until January. In Speedway, the Scunthorpe Scorpions have secured the signing of Ryan Douglas, who becomes the club's second acquisition of the new season. It'll be his third campaign with the Scorpions and follows in the footsteps of Finnish rider Nike Luna, who joined the team last week. And finally, Hull Stingrays captain Matty Davis is now the top scoring Brit in this year's Elite League competition. He has 7 goals and 16 assists from his 22 games so far. The 24-year-old GB international has registered 13 points in his last 8 games. And that's all for the sport.
Thank you, Dan. Before we go, there are a few birthday messages I thought I'd read out. On Facebook, Carol Thornton says, fingers crossed they give you a bit more capacity so we can actually see all the programmes. At the moment, we only get about 1 in 10, and she's writing from a part of Scunthorpe that presently has some trouble with transmission, but that'll be fixed. Nina Stobart says, happy birthday. Did someone say cake? They certainly did. And on Twitter, Lavinia Diaz says, hope it's a great day tomorrow for Estuary TV, who launched the first local UK TV in Grimsby on the 26th of November. Nova Productions says, local TV should all take a look at birthday channel Estuary TV to see how to make quality and how to make it local. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, guys. And Lucy Woods says, happy first birthday Estuary TV and congrats to a dedicated team. And finally, Andrew White says, happy birthday, my friends, at Estuary TV, 1 year old on Freeview Day. Contact us, please, at the usual ways. Email news@estuary.tv or contact us through social media via Twitter or Facebook, or pick up the phone and call 01472 31 5561. I hope you've enjoyed us today on our birthday news show, and I hope we'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Thursday will bring outbreaks of rain with extensive low cloud and maximum temperatures of 9 degrees. Friday will be mostly cloudy and breezy with some light rain in places, maximum temperature of 10 degrees.